The Seahorse Effect by Sierra Steinbecker. Chapter 19. Ending on Good Terms. We move against the Supreme Chancellor by the end of the month, Mace proclaimed to the council. We have evidence of his manipulation of events going back to before the Naboo crisis. The courts will have to let us.
Decided we have, Yoda remarked. Disband the master we must, to capture General Grievous. Once done, that is, over the war will be.
Obi-Wan stood from his seat. I will go. Yoda nodded.
Hoped you would come forward and did.
Mace also nodded. You will leave immediately, he commanded. Obi-Wan bowed and left the chamber to pack. In other news, the dark-skinned master continued, Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker has asked for a 6-month sabbatical. What were his reasons? Another of the council asked. Yoda answered,
Spoken with him I have of choosing a better one. Wishes to send her himself, he does, before such a choice he makes.
Many of the masters nodded in agreement with his statement. Quickly Mace counted the nodding heads and did the math in his head. They had a majority vote. Then the council agrees. He tapped the arm of his chair and a message screen popped up. He typed up a message to Anakin about his sabbatical, paused, and added at the end that Obi-Wan was leaving if he wanted to see his old master before the man left. He sent off the message and turned back to his fellow masters. What is the next order of business? Back in his rooms, Anakin jolted when the message pad on the wall gave a sharp trill. He tapped it eagerly and read the message. Good, they approved it. He sighed and kept reading. Wait, Obi-Wan's leaving? He was gone and out the door without even finishing the message. He probably wouldn't see the man again until the twins arrived if things went smoothly. No way was he letting the man get away without saying goodbye. It was clear he'd only just caught the man. He almost ran Obi-Wan over in the hallway. Excuse me, Annie, I have to get going, he said as he tried to get around the knight. Yeah, mission, Master Windu told me. Anakin puffed out. Obi-Wan's brows drew together. Why would you do that? The knight shrugged. He probably thought I would want to see you off. Why would he think that? The older man asked. I won't be gone very long, a month at the most. But I won't be here when you get back, Anakin answered. Did the council give you a message as well? That wasn't so unusual. Anakin had a high mission success rate, especially with combat missions. His moniker, the hero with no fear, was well earned. But his friend shook his head. They're letting me go on sabbatical. I'll be gone for half a year. Obi-Wan's eyebrows shot up. Anakin taking himself out of the action? What brought this on? He asked. He started walking down the hall and the knight kept pace with him. His friend shrugged. Master Yoda's been asking me about training a Padawan. I wanted to take some time to think about it. He reasoned. I also wanted to practice the healing skills I learned a few months ago. The older man nodded and then grinned. Well, I hope you'll keep up with the rest of your training. He let his eyes drift down to Anakin's developing paunch, and the younger Jedi shifted his cloak to cover the area. But instead of the expected burst of irritation, Obi-Wan felt a spike of fear hammer through his friend. What? He quickly looked up at Anakin's face and only saw his usual scowl. Anakin, is everything all right? Grumbling was his only answer, and that assured Obi-Wan a bit, but still, the Force did not lie. Suddenly, Anakin stopped walking. We're here, he said, pointing through the open doorway in front of them. Beyond it was one of the temple's hangars, with the ship assigned to Obi-Wan. His scowl lightened. Which droid did they give you to navigate? Obi-Wan grinned teasingly at the question. Your older friend, R2-D2. Our engineering department finally finished repairing him. Honestly, what did you two get into that left him that damaged? Anakin laughed, remembering a space battle involving an asteroid field, a few extra crates of electrical circuits, and way too much ion cannon fire for comfort. You don't want to know. Then his face grew more serious. I hope you succeed, Obi-Wan. May the Force be with you. He bowed, and the older man pulled him into an unexpected hug the instant he straightened. His friend stiffened in his hold, but Obi-Wan was used to that. On with you, Anakin. With that, he detached himself from his old apprentice and headed for his ship. Yoda was worried about the state of the Order. They'd won the war against the Separatists and avoided the proverbial bomb planted in their midst by the Sith with that biochip, but the dark side had grown far too prevalent amongst the Order. In fact, it was disturbing just where the growth happened. Among the Jedi who fought, Those without a Padawan showed the greatest strain, and those without a strong bond between master and apprentice were the second most affected. What caused these changes, and what about those specific Jedi made them more vulnerable? He needed to get to the root of this matter. Perhaps the best way to begin was by interviewing some of the Jedi who'd been most affected. Well, at least he had a starting point.